We're back. And I'm really excited for this conversation because it really brings together everything that NAF is about. We often talk about pathways and opportunities, but what that really means is the connection between where you are today and where you can go. Tonight we have the opportunity to hear from two current NAF juniors, Lydiane Feliciano Nieves and Cameron Rozier, who are actively shaping their futures alongside someone who turned his own journey into a platform for impact. Jerome Junkyard Dog Williams is a former NBA legend who played for the Pistons, the Raptors, the Bulls, and the Knicks. New York or nowhere. And who's dedicated his life beyond basketball to supporting young people by giving back through his organization Shooting for Peace, which has become a great partner for NAF. So what makes this conversation special is that their journeys, while they may look different, there are a lot of commonalities, especially along the ways of the moments that made them and the people that supported them and the skills that they carried forward. So, for the first question, let's start with the moment. Each of you has had experiences through your academy, through sports, and through life that made your future feel more real. So Cameron and Lydian, what is the moment that stands out most for you?
When I think about a moment that stands out for me, I think about the NASA Tech Race Challenge, because it was the first challenge that I participated and also was the first challenge that I won. Once that challenge brings me a lot of opportunities in the media. I did many interviews, and it was my first time on the media. And my name was on the newspaper. That was a bomb for Puerto Rico. I am from Puerto Rico. And and we won as a public school in Puerto Rico. We are the only school that won that challenge. And I am proud to be part of the NAF Academy because brings me these opportunities and was the first time that I think seriously about my future. And I think my goals are not just dreams, are coming true and makes me feel my aspirations more real.
So one experience that's helped me in my NAF academy, that's helped me change who I am, was doing the SYIP internship. It was an internship in the summer. I had to develop a resume, get interviewed, apply for jobs, get rejected sometimes, but I secured my job. And then I worked in the summer at South Dade Senior High School, and it was a great experience. I got to work with the IT tech at our school, and he explained some stuff about technology. He explained some stuff about engineering too, because he dabbled in a little bit of that. He taught about the news. He taught me how to pay attention to the news, stay to the news, stay tuned in. And he taught me how to really critically think, because even though the job was simple, it was just reconnecting computers. But he really made all of us in the team that worked that summer, he really made us think, because if we answered with we just answered with a simple yes, he would always pressure, he would always prod for more, for a bigger response from us, a greater response, because he wanted to see critical thinking and some greater analysis. And that entire summer, I'm not gonna lie, he put me in some pressure, because I was kind of scared of him. He would talk to me and he would kind of scare me, but I got through it. And thankfully, I think that's made me a better person.
That's good.
So Jerome, when you hear their stories, what resonates for you? Do you have moments like that really shaped what your future ended up look like, and people who helped you get there?
I definitely did. My moment, I think, came when I was graduating from high school. You know, you grow up and you, as an athlete, and you tell yourself you have all these lofty dreams of becoming the next Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson like I had, and I got to the end of my career and getting ready to graduate, and I had no scholarship offers, not even one. Not one letter, not one inquiry about me coming to their school, and it was very deflating. I was a sometimes honor roll student, so I was very capable when motivated. I did not have NAF. I did not have an opportunity to explore other avenues, but when I jumped into the world of having to continue my education and choose some sort of career path, I knew it had education attached to it. So I had to get a job. I had to go out and work. I had to save my money. I had to learn how to budget. I had to do a lot of the things that, college students do, and, kids that are, deciding what to do moving forward. And that moment really transformed, because now I saw life as life, presents itself. And I had to realize how important it is to have mentors, and how important it is to have people in your corner, because I had none other than my parents. So that moment really stands out to me, Lisa, because when I met you at United Nations, I had a glimpse back into my life where I had people who stopped and said, "Hey, let me help you." And that statement alone still rings in my ear, because I see a lot of people in this room who are doing just that. You're helping so many kids that you will never meet, that is just going to go well and far beyond your wildest dreams. I encourage each and every one of you to continue to fight and to continue to go alongside leaders like Lisa and the board at NAF, because they're doing amazing work. But the future, as we see it right here, is very, I don't want to say dim, but it's getting dim. And it's not your fault, right? It's just the way things are happening. And that makes me think about the moment, because we need more people in the room like yourselves, because of the technology that's taken over. It's really real. We cannot stress it enough. Boots on the ground like Lisa and myself, when we go out to these schools, I deal with school districts throughout the entire United States. Hundreds of thousands of students that I've touched this year alone. And I can't even tell you how many kids are so far behind. But the NAF kids have a leg up. They are getting advanced. They are learning more and being able to cope with these situations. So I don't want to prolong. Don't get me started, basically. Lisa, keep going.
Well, and also over cocktails, ask Jerome how Dr. J is one of the people that also shaped his future. But a lot of what you're talking about, what all of you are talking about, is skills. And how do we make sure that students are getting the skills that really do help to not only serve you while you're in high school, but then follow you over time. So Lydia and Cameron, I would love for you to talk about the most valuable skills that you feel like you've gained through your academy experience so far.
So I feel like some of the most important skills that I've discovered through my NAF Academy is the connections and the outreach I've been able to do. Because like right now, like this, I wouldn't have this if I wasn't a part of this. Like you see all these people, I wanted to meet like half of y'all in this room. I'm gonna be so serious. Like, I came in here and then I was in that room at my table, and then I see all y'all walking up with your coats, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And then like, "Good, good." And I'm like, "My name's Cameron." "Oh, my name's this. And then I'm like, I would have never met this person. I wouldn't even probably been here. And that's crazy to think about, because some people, well, not some people, a lot of people don't have this opportunity, because like out of 100,000 people, not that many were chosen, and I'm one of the few. So I feel like that connection is amazing right there. So this opportunity, I feel like is a blessing. So this is an amazing connection. And also, not only something as big as this, it could be minor things. People from colleges coming down, talking to a class about something, military coming down, talking. Seeing professionals work in action, going to like an event, and then you might see someone, well, it's not someone you know, but someone who works in a career that you know, and then that person might impart some knowledge onto you. That's a skill that you might need for life. You might remember that for the rest of your life. And that also, that part of that outreach, because I'm feeling that now, because at my school, thanks to my NAF advisor, one of them, Mr. Godinez, I've been able to go to Redland Middle and Avocado Elementary, and I've been able to go and teach kids about block coding. And it's been great because sometimes when I go, it'll make their day. Like I teach them how to like drag some blocks around and make like a little character dance, and then they get so excited over that. Like I'm stressing about what I gotta do. I gotta make blocks move. I gotta make games and stuff, and then they're so happy over just like a little character dancing. So I think that's amazing because I could have steered someone to coding that day.
And
I think
you're
that's
already
amazing to
giving
think about.
back, which is so impressive.
Yes.
While you're still in high school.
Yes.
How about you, Lydian?
Well, when I joined to the academy, I don't was confident about myself. I was afraid to talk with other people, and once challenge and being part of these types of opportunities makes me feel more confident about myself. And right now, I don't believe that I am here, but a part of me remember me that I deserve to be here. And the most valuable skills that I gained since I joined to the academy, the most is leadership. I like to being a leader with my class. I am the president of my class. And effective communication, and I feel more confident about myself and problem solving, and I think that's all. But I think the most is commitment.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Well, Jerome, I would imagine commitment is certainly something that was important to you as a young person and as you've continued. But what are some of the skills that really did serve you as you continued on your path?
Well, I'll give you a quick story. When I was in college at Georgetown, we had the opportunity during the summer to intern. They gave us our choice between little work or no work. I chose, as much work as there was humanly possible that I could do during the summer, so they let me intern with Arthur A. Anderson accounting firm in Washington, D.C. So the skill that I learned while I was there, I became a tax clerk. So a tax clerk's job is to make sure that these receipts get to the IRS and the forms get to the IRS before 3:15 on any given day, especially Friday. Friday was the hot spot. I had to be on my, good foot on Friday. But it was a skill that I learned, and I asked the accountants in the office, hey, why are we serving these papers? Why are we putting in these filings? And they would explain to me, Jerome, basically, if they don't, hand in these receipts, they pull out these forms, they get fined, they can, things happen, they have to spend more money, or they can get checks returned. So I said, oh. So I take note of that. That was a skill that I learned. Fast forward the tape. I'm in the NBA now. I'm paying taxes in every NBA city, sometimes twice, in California 3 times, Florida, like no state tax there, but yes, so I'm learning this skill, so I'm explaining it to my teammates, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. Fast forward the tape. I start buying cars under a business name that I filed taxes under. I get audited 3 years straight. I mean, year after year after year. Now, most of you say, man, he got audited 3 times. What was he doing? Nothing. The IRS owed me money 3 years straight. So that's the skill I learned. So anybody want to know? Let me know. Give you my number. We can make sure we have some meetings. And I can clue you in on a few things to save yourself some money and get a good tax return check.
So I hope the students are definitely all listening to this too. Well, and an important part of everything that all of you have talked about is obviously the connection piece, and really thinking about not only who you meet, but what you learn from them and what you take away from that, and who opens doors, because sometimes that's the hardest part of getting into something that you're interested in. So I'd love for you to talk about what it's meant to connect with corporate partners in your academy and how that's really shaped how you can think about your future.
Well, it is extremely important to connect with professionals of the industry, especially with professionals who are connected to the career that you want to study, because they can share their own experience and you can search about the skills that you have to develop to exercise that career. And that is this connection helps you to prepare for your professional future. I think that's it. Yeah.
So I think connecting with professionals is really important because it doesn't matter what they're professional at. It could be something completely unrelated to what you want to do. They have experience, they have wisdom, you got to listen in. I think that's really important because even though it may not pertain to you, you never know when you may need it. And it's even though you might not use it ever, it's very awesome to listen about how these people have done all these great things through because these people, they grind it out. They start off from nothing, they build up, they have their business, they have their life, and then you wouldn't even know. You look at them now, and then you wouldn't even know that they really had to work super, super hard for what they have now. So I think that's amazing to realize and learn from people.
And Jerome, so much of what you're doing now through your work with Shooting for Peace is very much about how do we bring the right adults into the room and how do we make sure that those connections are happening. Can you talk a little bit about how you're doing that?
Well, I can tell you right now, the connections are coming through close friends. They're coming through close associates. They're coming through people who have the like-mindedness. And I stick close to people I know and I feel in my heart are the right people. When I first met Lisa, I said, she's with us. You know, that's a term we say in the hood. We like, they're with us, meaning like she might be white, but she's not. I'm just being honest. Because you can hear it in people's heart, like what they're trying to do, who they're trying to help. We can see right through it. So you stick with those people because you know if you're helping them, you're helping everybody. And that's the point of everything. Connections involves community. So at Shooting for Peace, we look for like-minded businesses, like-minded partners. We have partners in JP Morgan Chase. We have partners in Capital One. We have partners in Discovery Education. We're nonpartisan. We had Bush administration. We had the Biden administration. Ever since then, we don't have no administration. But listen, the point is, we're about the kids. We're about reaching and getting to the opportunities of helping this generation. But we need the community. We need the community of helpers. And that's the most important thing. So everybody who came here tonight, we appreciate the support because as you support NAF, you're also supporting Shooting for Peace. And we are about peace. And that includes a multitude of things, from prosperity to education and excellence to access to commitment to empowerment. It's about peace. And you don't have peace if you don't have those things attached to them.
Absolutely. So I want to end with the idea of looking forward and also reaching back. So Jerome, I'll start with you. What advice would you give Cameron and Lydia and the many thousands of NAF students who are all both going on a similar path but also with very different dreams and hopes?
My advice would just simply be stay the course. Stay the course, believe in yourself, believe in, I had a great conversation with Tyree. Where's Tyree? Tyree, where's Tyree? Tyree, stand up. See that young man over there? All right. That young man is going places. he said to me, JYD, he gave me a nice little bark just to make sure we're in the dog pound. And he said he's going to be a pharmaceutical engineer. His aspirations are huge. He had me try some of the honey bun they had over there. But I told him, okay, where are you looking to go to school? He said, right now, it's between Penn and Princeton. I said, give me your number because you're going places. Because I already can see it. So I said, okay, so right now, I'm in agreement with you. You're going to be a pharmaceutical engineer. You're going to be top notch. And, you know, one of those schools is going to be lucky enough to get you. So those are the kind of opportunities that these kids have when they stay the course. And that's all I encouraged him to do. That's my advice, is to make sure you stick with organizations like NAF. They're going to put you in the right rooms. They're going to give you people who are kind, who are people who are, you know, have a heart to help. And that's what it's about. Everybody in this room, you are so important. So thank you, and God bless each and every one of you guys.
And building perfectly off of that, Lydian and Cameron, what would you want everyone in this room to understand about the impact of investing in the opportunities like this and what it's made possible for you?
So I feel like that investing in the opportunities of things like this is that it's really special. Well, I don't know if it's special to y'all, but it's special to me because as I said before, I probably would have never had this in my life until I'm like 40 plus, 50 plus. So this is great. This is a great experience. I mean, I've been able to meet all these new people. I've been able to get some experience talking to people, socializing with people. It's been amazing, and it always takes a community. Like my mother says, it takes a village to do anything. So you always have to have a community backing you. If that's the only thing you take away from me, take that away. You need a community backing you. You need your support system, and that's how you're gonna grow.
Well, as a Puerto Rican public student, I am proud to be a public school student because look at me, I'm here. And the public schools in Puerto Rico doesn't have a resource. So I am here because I am here for the education that NAFs support and sustain with their investments. And I am here today to let you know, to show you the product of these investments. I am here to tell you that I want to give the entire opportunities that I gain with this academy to more academies in more public schools in Puerto Rico, because the people in Puerto Rico, before of that we will do in my island, doesn't believe in the public schools because they say the public schools doesn't have a potential. We had a potential. We can do this. We can do more than this. I know that, but I want to tell you that I can do whatever I want to do. If I propose that, look at me now. I am talking with you. And also, well, I want to say NAF gives me the greatest opportunity of my life, and I want to bring with me all of you because I am very proud of this, and I appreciate all that you have had to do with the academies, and I appreciated all that you do. And I think that the other schools of Puerto Rico, especially the publics, needs these opportunities too.
Well, so obviously this is why this is important, and we're so thankful to both of you for being here tonight. We're incredibly proud of you. Let's give them another round of applause. And this is the impact of NAF. This is what this investment does, and this is the lives it changes, and it is transformational and exponentially transformational when we can be in places where we're needed most. So a huge thank you to everyone in the room. Again, thank you to our students. We're going to let them leave the stage, and then Jerome and I have one last thing to do. Thank you, guys.